I want to get you to Beirut and to Joseph Baoud, who's the director of the Issam Fares Institute for Public Policy and International Affairs at the American University of Beirut. I just want to ask you what you make of what we are seeing unfold here. Intensified strikes by Israel, advancing into southern Lebanon. They call this part of a forward defense posture. I mean, how significant is this and what are the likely consequences?
First of all, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Definitely, what's happening in Lebanon, the last hours is a dramatic change in the equation here, in the situation. We are seeing new factors. Of course, the critical change or the critical tipping point was the decision by Hezbollah and some factions maybe within Hezbollah to enter the war to enter the war that is raging with Iran today. This has unleashed a new series and stronger Israeli air raids and air actions for the last 2 days. But the new dramatic turn, and I think that this is the new given today for Lebanon, is the start of probably a ground incursion of Israel in the south of Lebanon, which limits are still unknown and hard to be deciphered, as your correspondent has said. But this is definitely a new given because it will, first of all, usher towards a new Israeli will or a goal of war towards Lebanon, but it will also impact very probably the behavior of Hezbollah and thus of the Lebanese government in the weeks and months to come. So this is definitely a new given. Lebanon is getting slowly further and deeper into this war.
How fragile a balance is this for the Lebanese government at this point? What risks does what is going on create for the country's stability at this point? Just explain the government's position, their narrative and announcements with regard to Hezbollah at this point.
Yeah, look, like everything in Lebanon, things are a bit intertwined and very much complicated and complex. Let's say that, first of all, the cessation of hostilities agreement that was struck between Lebanon and Israel under US and French auspices a year and a half now, in November 2024, has never really been respected by Israel. Israel has continued to conduct trades, targeted killings. It has not opened negotiations on the freeing of Lebanese prisoners and other issues as well. Now, from the other side, also, Hezbollah has fulfilled very shyly and very partially the first part of its contract, the contract that is specified in this cessation of hostility agreement, by dismantling its military infrastructure in the south and handling its positions to the Lebanese army. However, Israel and the United States, I would say, are insisting that the part that Hezbollah owes to this contract is a dismantlement and a disarmament all over the entirety of the territory in Lebanon. So at the eve of the war with Iran, we were still stalled at that position, at that situation, meaning that the Lebanese army has fulfilled the disarmament of Hezbollah south of the river Litani. Israel and the US were asking for much more and much faster. When the war with Iran started and Hezbollah joined the war, the Lebanese government did not have the choice but to declare very quickly in the meeting of 2 days ago that every activity of Hezbollah all over the Lebanese territory, every military activity, is declared illegal and illicit. Now, this is a verbal stance, of course. What remains to be seen now is the capacity, the will, and also the decision, the political decision of the Lebanese government to send the army and stop Hezbollah doing that, which will ultimately mean, way or another, we like it or not, a sort of confrontation with Hezbollah. So today, Lebanon is, if you want, between two very different, two very delicate positions, or between a hammer and it's between the Israeli strikes and between the decision by the Lebanese government to disarm Hezbollah. So we are in a race with instability and insecurity in the country.
You said things are always complex, complicated. You've made a real stab there, successful stab at trying to sort of unpick the complexities for us, which will, be hugely useful for our viewers around the world. Because you're right, none of this is easy, and it's important that we really try and sort of unravel what is going on here as we watch this unfold around the region. This has a global impact, of course. Thank you, sir.